Taylor. Daniel Taylor. Daniel Taylor. Daniel Taylor.
Hey, hey, hey. I don't be on IG like that neither. But why not be on IG like that, Caesar? Hey, hey, hey.
Daniel Taylor. Daniel Taylor.
Hey, 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 hey. Hey, that beat go hard. Beat go hard. Hey. Hey. Okay. So, I'm trying this Instagram thing out at the same time that we do this here YouTube. I got my beat here by Future Wealth. So, what we're going to be talking about today, salute to everyone in the building. Let me get into the pleasantries as we go, indeed. Yo, it's your boy, the insurance junkie, your fiduciary fella, the all-star advisor Alonzo Hall, and I've returned today to whap and tap on your head with another ADH wealth solution. Before I go in, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share. Lastly, to contribute to channel growth or to schedule a one-on-one appointment with a licensed financial professional, the links are in the description. So as we proceed to give you what you need. So today, I'm not going to be able to share the screen on Instagram, but I can through my YouTube. And so I want to share with y'all some retirement strategies outside of Alert. But we're going to take a look at some retirement planning strategies. You know what? I kind of like that music in the background. What y'all think? That joint was kind of knocking. I like that beat, but I digress. So let's go a little bit further here. Let's take a look at this, and let's increase this screen size. So while I'm at it, actually, let me see if I can point my tablet. Oh, and there goes my light at my computer screen. There we go. There we go. Put the light on my tablet. All right. Now that's pointing at the computer screen. So we can actually take a look at this kind of on the side through my Instagram and face-to-face through my YouTube. So as you see here, this is, and so I'm going to go watch the stream on YouTube, no doubt. So as we see here, we have a retirement strategies planning brochure. So this is retirement planning strategies for small business owners. So as you'll see with retirement planning, it says you can do SEP, IRAs, and simple IRAs that offer the following benefits for your business. They're cost effective, meaning that you can skip costly and time-consuming paperwork since reporting and disclosure requirements under ERISA simply do not apply. They're tax-favored, meaning your employees will receive tax-deductible contributions since contributions and earnings are excluded from their taxable income, and they accumulate tax-deferred until benefit payments are received. They will receive greater economic value without current taxation. So SEP IRAs offer this additional benefit for your business, right? They're flexible and you can decide when to contribute to the plans since fixed annual contributions are not required. Thus, your contributions can go along with your business objectives. Now, obviously, determining the right plan, and again, this is a brochure, so it's kind of a sales tactic, but that's why you have someone who's licensed to actually go over it with you and kind of break down a little bit here, a little bit there. You see what I'm saying? So, in determining which plan is right for your business, you want to consider the following. Again, if you're an only employee, for example, if your earnings are $100K, a SEP IRA allows you to contribute up to $25,000, or consider a Solo Plus plan, which is a 401k plan for solo business partners. So you can contribute as much as $61,000. Now, does your payroll mostly comprise of a few key employees? If so, a SEP IRA may be the right choice because contributions are uniform with respect to salary. For example, if your salaries represent 75% of total payroll, including non-key employees, then your accounts can receive 75 cents of every dollar contributed by your business under the SEP IRA. Do non-key employees represent a substantial portion of your total payroll? A simple IRA permits you to contribute up to $14,000 plus matching to your own account, or a safe harbor 401k allows you to contribute up to $20,500 plus matching, while you make limited employer matching contributions only for eligible employees who elect to make contributions themselves. Are you concerned about administrative expenses? You save on administrative fees with SEP IRAs and simple IRA plans because there are no employer IRS filing requirements to meet. What's more, such plans may be established by using IRS-provided model plan documents. By contrast, employers who sponsor Solo Plus plans, when plan assets total more than $250,000, or Safe Harbor 401k plans, must annually file reports with the IRS. Did the tax year end before you established any retirement plan? If so, it may not be too late to consider establishing an SEP IRA or a simple IRA and making and deducting the employer contribution for the previous year before you file your company's tax return. So I'm going to show you some of the features and benefits of each. So as you see here, you've got maximum eligibility requirements that may be imposed. For the simple IRA, that's employees earning $5,000 in any prior 2 years and who are expected to earn $5,000 in the current year. For the SEP IRA, employees working in 3 of the 5 prior years who are 21 years of age or older and received at least $650 in compensation. For the Solo Plus, there's no maximum eligibility. And for the Safe Harbor 401k, that's employees with 1 year, 1,000 hours of service, and 21 years of age or older. Salute. Salute. What's going on, gentlemen? So now the maximum employee contribution. In a simple IRA, it's $14,000. In a SEP IRA, it's a salary reduction contribution not permitted in plans established after 1996. In the Solo Plus, it's $20,500 plus contributions of earned income. In the Safe Harbor, it's $20,500 plus contributions of earned income. The age 50 catch-up contribution, $3,000 in a simple IRA. The same amounts as a 401k plan, but permitted in salary reduction plans established before 97 in the SEP IRA. In the Solo Plus, $6,500 plus contributions. In the Safe Harbor, $6,500. Maximum employer contributions, $14,000 in the simple IRA. 25% of compensation, 20% for self-employed, up to contribution limits of $61,000, less employer elective deferrals in a SEP IRA. Up to $25,000 of pay, $20,000 for self-employed, maximum of $61,000 in the Solo Plus. Up to 25% of pay, 20% for self-employed, maximum of $61,000 for self-employed. So the maximum contributions required from employer. For a simple IRA, it's 100% match on 1 to 3% of employee compensation. So generally, the really nice ones will do a 100% match up to 3% of what you contribute. It's not applicable for the other two. 100% matching up to 4% effectively of employees' compensation on the safe harbor 401k. So alternative to matching, you've got 2% of compensation for all eligible employees in a simple IRA. Not applicable for the other two. And for a safe harbor, there's a qualified non-elective contribution equal to 3% of compensation for all non-highly compensated employees. So this is everybody who's not key employed. So the vesting schedule with the simple IRA is 100% immediately. SEP IRA, 100% immediately. Solo Plus, 100% immediate vesting. And with the Safe Harbor, 100% immediate vesting. Generally, that's because you're contributing. Minimum coverage and contribution requirements. None in a simple IRA. All eligible employees must participate in a SEP. There are no minimum coverage or participation requirements in a Solo Plus, and yes, there are in a Safe Harbor. You can only take participant loans out on a Safe Harbor 401k or a Solo Plus 401k. No reporting is required until up to $250,000 for any of for the simple IRA, the SEP, or the Solo Plus up to $250,000. But there are requirements to report to the IRS for a 401k. And these are the documents that would allow you to elect out: 5304 simple and 5305 SEP. Distributions before separation from employment, 10% penalty may apply to distributions before 59.5, except for a death, disability, etc. So there's a penalty in the first 2 years up to 25%. In a simple IRA, it's permitted in a SEP. It's not permitted except for a disability. It's not permitted except for a disability. 100 or fewer employees, there's no limit. Solo Plus is not available to companies with other than one owner. And then there's no limit to a SEP, what the fuck, 401k. Safe Harbor. I kept saying SEP. Safe Harbor 401k. So now, how do I pull this one up? And still like this. So those are a couple of retirement availabilities, but you also have things like an accumulation 7. But what I wanted to show you was a single premium. Let me see if I can find my single premium immediate annuity. I mean, deferred annuity. Hmm. Here we go. So a single premium deferred annuity. So you see it has pictures of old people here. But a single premium deferred annuity is best to use when you're young, right? Because what you do is you put the money away, and it's a large lump sum of money. Let's say you're young and you're balling. And I don't know, you come up on 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, $100,000, $200,000. So The beauty of a single premium deferred annuity is that it provides your clients with stability and growth to guide them to their retirement goals. Oh, yeah. So this is actually for producer use only. This isn't supposed to be seen by you, the public. But so there's guaranteed interest. Your clients can choose a guaranteed period for the initial current interest rate of 1, 3, or 6 years. The more money they deposit, the higher the interest rate will be based on 4 distinct rate bands. Flexible access to money. Although surrender charges diminish to 0 after 6 years from policy issue, clients have access to the policy value at a 10% free withdrawal provision after the first policy year. A full waiver of surrender charges is available with the terminal illness confinement benefit or upon the owner's death. Your principal guarantee. Your client's principal is protected with a single premium deferred annuity. If your client decides to terminate the policy before the surrender charge period, we guarantee that your client will receive every dollar of initial investment or cash surrender value, whichever is greater, adjusted for previous withdrawals. So the issue ages are 0 to 85. And the minimum deposit you have is $10,000. So let's look at that rate band. So your rate band for non-applicable or new issues is always going to be one rate band. And then you actually get into a rate band anywhere from $10,000 to $999,000. Now you're in the second class tier when you're in $100,000 to $499,000. And you're in the fourth rate band when you're in $500,000 or better. Okay, so generally, if you have $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, you put it away here, especially the younger you are, and you put it away one time for your absolute retirement. And the younger you are, the longer you have for it to grow and not be touched. Okay, so that's a great product to have as well. Let me close that out since that wasn't supposed to be seen by clients. He said, I'll be in and out. I'm at school right now. No doubt, brother. All right. Well, listen, I wasn't actually intending for going too long. I'm just happy to have been on here for a little bit. I guess while I'm at it, I'll play this retirement traps video for you guys.
Retirement is just around the corner, and there's no better time to start planning for how much money you'll need when you get there. By acting now, you may avoid retirement traps, such as taxes, penalties, and market risks. These pitfalls can impact the amount of money you have in retirement in ways you never expected. Retirement traps first appear when you're saving for retirement. Retirement accounts such as 401ks and IRAs are a good place to start saving. Many retirement saving tools such as these enjoy tax-deferred growth, but keep in mind that contributions may be limited or, in some cases, excluded because of the amount of money you make. If you are able to take advantage of these tax-deferred accounts while you're saving, remember that once you retire, you may have to pay taxes on the full amount that you take out. That's a big retirement trap. Taxes can really impact the amount of money you have to live on in retirement. Then there's market risk. You know you're going to have to ride out a few of the down markets as you save for retirement. That risk is the trade-off for getting potentially higher returns. But once you retire, those same bear markets may be another trap that jeopardizes the amount of money you have. If you decide to retire early or experience a financial emergency, you may fall prey to yet another trap. If you withdraw money from a retirement account before you're 59 and a half, not only will you be subject to income taxes, you may also incur a 10% penalty for early withdrawal. On the flip side is another trap. If you don't plan on withdrawing money from your retirement account, think again. The IRS has rules about when you must withdraw these funds. And don't forget about longevity. It's possible to live another 30 years after you retire. You need to save enough money to make sure it lasts as long as you do. And keep in mind that the older you get, the greater your chance of facing a serious illness. About 80% of older adults have at least one chronic illness, and 68% have at least two. That means higher health-related costs in retirement that could eat up your savings. We all know that trying to accumulate enough money for our retirement is a challenge. Getting caught in a retirement trap won't help. The good news is there are ways to escape these traps. Working with an emeritus representative can help you identify the retirement traps you're facing and what steps to take to avoid them, helping you to achieve the retirement you've always dreamed of. We are Emeritus, proud to be in the business.
So that was a retirement video that helped you to get past the retirement traps. And let's take a look at this one.
Thinking about retirement can be exciting, but it can also be a little daunting. Did you know over 80% of baby boomers are worried they haven't done a good job preparing for retirement? Statistics show you can expect to live a longer, healthier life, but will you have the resources to pay the bills and do all the things you want to do? What about Social Security, inflation, and healthcare? Will your money last as long as you do? At Emeritus, we believe it's possible to be prepared for a fulfilling retirement. You can put strategies in place to help protect your retirement dreams. Here are some things to consider. Use guaranteed income sources to make sure your basics are covered. Keep some assets invested in equities to help make sure your money keeps up with inflation over the long haul. Understand your Social Security claiming options so you can maximize your benefit. Identify tax issues and opportunities so you use your assets in the most efficient manner possible. The first step in planning is to think about your goals, then work with an emeritus representative to help achieve them. There's no better time than now to plan for your retirement. We are Emeritus, proud to be in the business of
All right, so that was the other retirement. I should do this one. So I guess this one I'm gonna do. Oh shit! You know what? I just realized y'all didn't see that video that I shared with y'all. Either one of them. I'm sorry. Let me share the video. So this one is actually about IUL hedging. And this will be a good one for Sheed. I know she will like this.
The death benefit of an Index Universal Life Insurance Policy, or IUL, can provide a key resource for your loved ones if you die prematurely. It also builds cash value over time that you can access in situations where you need money. For example, to help pay for a loved one's education, to help provide extra retirement funds, or to help cover the unexpected costs of an emergency. The cash value of your IUL policy earns interest that is based in part on the performance of one or more market indices like the S&P 500. Most IUL policies provide a floor that protects you from loss when the market declines. It's important to know that with an IUL policy, you're not investing in the index itself. How can you earn interest based on something you're not actually invested in? How can you not lose money? It all works because of a process called hedging. Let's take a closer look at how this works. An insurance company invests in bonds that earn about 4 to 8% each year. This is called their asset portfolio. The insurance company then takes a small amount of money from its asset portfolio, about 3 to 5%, and purchases an option to buy or sell shares of a market index. The insurance company does not actually buy shares of a market index. They simply purchase a contract that gives them the option to buy shares of an index at a specific price on or before a certain date. If the price of the index goes up during that time, the insurance company can sell the option for a profit. It's this profit that enables the company to credit interest to their policy. If the index price goes down, the company simply lets the option expire. The insurance company only loses the money they used to pay for the option. Your IUL policy, however, does not lose any money. That's because during this time, the company's asset portfolio has grown enough to replace the money that it used to buy the option. The company's asset portfolio hasn't lost any money, so your policy won't lose value either. This hedging strategy is how IUL policies can grow when the index goes up, but not decrease when the value of the index goes down. Think an index universal life policy might be right for you? Talk to your financial professional to learn more.
Well, that was a pretty good video, if I do say so myself. And like I said, actually, I want to play that one more time, just because I think that's important. American Negro, what's going on, bro? Salute. And yo, can you do me a favor, young investor? Can you shoot me that on the Discord so I can just click the link?
The death benefit of an Index Universal Life Insurance Policy, or IUL, can provide a key resource for your loved ones if you die prematurely. It also builds cash value over time that you can access in situations where you need money. For example, to help pay for a loved one's education, to help provide extra retirement funds, or to help cover the unexpected costs of an emergency. The cash value of your IUL policy earns interest that is based in part on the performance of one or more market indices, like the S&P 500. Most IUL policies provide a floor that protects you from loss when the market declines. It's important to know that with an IUL policy, you're not investing in the index itself. How can you earn interest based on something you're not actually invested in? How can you not lose money? It all works because of a process called hedging. Let's take a closer look at how this works. An insurance company invests in bonds that earn about 4 to 8% each year. This is called their asset portfolio. The insurance company then takes a small amount of money from its asset portfolio, about 3 to 5%, and purchases an option to buy or sell shares of a market index. The insurance company does not actually buy shares of a market index. They simply purchase a contract that gives them the option to buy shares of an index at a specific price on or before a certain date. If the price of the index goes up during that time, the insurance company can sell the option for a profit. It's this profit that enables the company to credit interest to their policy. If the index price goes down, the company simply lets the option expire. The insurance company only loses the money they used to pay for the option. Your IUL policy, however, does not lose any money. That's because during this time, the company's asset portfolio has grown enough to replace the money that it used to buy the option. The company's asset portfolio hasn't lost any money, so your policy won't lose value either. This hedging strategy is how IUL policies can grow when the index goes up, but not decrease when the value of the index goes down. Think an Index Universal Life policy might be right for you? Talk to your financial professional to learn more.
So now let's take a look at tax deferral.
Just about everyone likes to imagine the possibilities of retirement, no matter what their age. And while it may still seem like a long way off, it will be here before you know it. No matter what dreams you have for your retirement, you'll need income to make them happen. The average 65-year-old can expect to be retired for about 20 years. How much money do you need to support 20 years of retirement? That depends on how much money you'll need every month to live on. For $3,000 per month, you'll need around $450,000 by the time you retire. For $5,000 per month, you'll need to have about $750,000. For $7,000 per month, you'll need a little over $1 million. If you haven't started already, the best time to start saving for retirement is right now. The earlier you start saving, the longer your money compounds, and the less you have to save each year. For example, if you start saving when you're 35, you will need to save about $9,000 per year, or about $270,000 over 30 years, to have $750,000 by the time you retire at 65. If you start saving when you're 45, you will need to save about $19,000 per year, or $380,000 over 20 years. The cost of waiting just 10 years to start saving will cost you over $100,000. What options do you have for saving that money? One place to start is a tax-deferred investment, such as a 401k or IRA. Tax deferred means you don't pay taxes on earnings that accumulate in your account until you withdraw. The money you would have paid in taxes each year continues to grow for you. What happens when you don't have to pay taxes on the amount you're saving? The $750,000 you have at age 65 now becomes over $1 million. There's no better time than now to start saving for retirement. Talk with an emeritus representative to see how a tax-deferred investment can help you protect your financial future. And get it from a company with the financial strength you can rely on.
All right. So now that we looked at that and my man Sheet is in the building, I want to go ahead and show y'all something that I was actually telling you about, Young Investor, when it came to that book we read, The Power of Zero, and how we can get a tax-deferred investment at zero. I want to see what age they started with the client. I forgot how old they
There's
started.
no better time than now to start saving for retirement. Talk with an emeritus representative. What happens when you don't have to focus on earnings? Options do you have for saving that money? One place to start: dollars over 20 years. The cost of waiting just $10. If you start saving when you're $45 per year, or about $270, you start saving when you're 35. You will need to save about $9,000 per year.
35 and $9,000 per year. So we're going to take a look at that with alert. All right. So let's see. If we look at that with alert, it will look a little bit different. Now we said $9,000 a year at age 35. So let's turn this guy 35. Is 32. Okay. Oh. 86. Let's do 87. So the insurance age 35. Okay. So we said that he's got to save $9,000 a year. Right?
Year, or about $270,000
$9,000 a year for 30 years.
over 30 years. To have $750,000.
To have $750,000 at age 65. So let's take a look at that. We're going to put it into a life insurance policy, $9,000 a year. And we're going to do to age 65. So here's the double whammy. Putting $9,000 a year. Apparently, a Wayne on life insurance policy will get him exactly $606,929. Putting that $9,000 a year away for 30 years. Now, somehow, putting $9,000 a year away for 30 years, which is $270,000 out of pocket, there's no way that it's going to assure him $750,000, but that's how much you would need. How much it would get you which would be through a compound interest of a life insurance policy, would be $600,000. And again, that's because he puts it in age 36, which would be the end of year 1. So let's make him 34. So we get, well, no, because that's not apples to apples. But that's growing at a 5.75% compound interest rate. Right? As you'll see, that's here based on the cap 1-year S&P 500, which says 5.75% compound interest. I'll increase it just in case you can't see the screen. Asset allocation, current illustrated rate, cap S&P 500 1 year, 100% to the 5.75% interest. Right? Now, here's the ill thing. I could flip this right quick, and you can get a whole bunch more life insurance. That's why you got to be careful when somebody... Oh, shit. Hold on. When somebody's talking about the price of life insurance. Because price doesn't always matter. Because for that same $9,000 a year, he could be paying for $864,000 worth of coverage. But at the end of that 30 years of putting $9,000 a year away, he only has $514,000. But if he dies, his family gets a much bigger death benefit. But here, he only gets a $559,000 death benefit for the same $9,000 a year. At age 65, he's put up $270, but he's got $606 available. Now, do we want to take this a step further? If you really want to do this, actually, we're going to take it a step further both ways. So, again, he could still buy that $864,000 death benefit and come back with less money. So, again, people like Dave Ramsey and Sue Zorman are always going to make it as unattractive as possible. Right? Now, we'll go back. Same $9,000 a year because, again, it's based on this, right? It's based on...
Less you have to save each year.
Right?
For example, if you start saving when you're 35, you will need to save about $9,000 per year, or about $270,000 over 30 years, to have $750,000 by the time you retire at 65.
Now, unfortunately, the math didn't math, because this is about the highest interest you can get, and it's not at that $750,000. The highest we've seen is $606,000 in cash value. Next highest we've seen is $514,000 in cash value, and then we've seen $479,000 in cash value. Right? So then, how can we get that to be even better? Same $9,000 a month for the same 30 years. I'm sorry, $9,000 a year. Now this one is $173,000 death benefit. But look, after 10 years, he put $90,000 in, and he's got access to $105,000. After 20 years, he's put $180,000 in, but he's got access to $308,000. After that 30 years, he's put that same $270,000 in. That's been in all three policies, And he's the closest to the $750,000 at $676,844. Now, if he stops paying there and doesn't take out any money until 10 years later, he'd have $1.2 million available. But yes, he has $676,844 worth of a death benefit now. So that's what they talk about that's what they mean when they talk about this hedging and stuff. So, those are some of the things that's important to look at. But I've been going for a hot minute now. I want to go watch some foolishness online. I appreciate everyone who did stop by, everyone who's watching in the replay. It's much appreciated that you're here. You could have been anywhere else. I do understand and recognize that, and I appreciate you for being here with me. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, wipe ass, work in progress every day and see success. Wipe ass, work in progress every day and see success. Wipe ass, work in progress every day and see success. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, when people challenge you, they don't challenge you to challenge you, but they challenge you to challenge you. Accept the challenge. Salute.
Daniel Taylor. Daniel Taylor. Daniel Taylor.
Hey, 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 hey. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. You don't finish until you're done. You ain't done until you're dead. Get it through your head. Work in progress every day and see success. Salute, salute, salute.